With the election coming up and border immigration being such a hot topic, we probably owe all these illegal immigrants an apology. The first thing they're met with, as the symbol of great American exceptionalism, is the Dallas Cowboys taking a giant shit in their pants on a national stage week in and week out. So on behalf of America, I apologize, illegal immigrants, on behalf of the abject failure that is the Dallas Cowboys. Que de esos vaqueros. And in case you don't know what I just said, I said, how about them Cowboys? Oh, them plucky Cowboys. Yet another game where they lost by a close margin. They really must be playing every team tough, huh? That's what you would say if you were a fucking idiot inhaling so much copium that you don't just get high. You end up on a veritable rocket ship into fucking space, floating in the cosmic clouds where the angels sing. And every year is the 1990s Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl victory party. Will the reality bring you crashing back down to earth? So hard that you end up drilling into the earth's magma core, as per usual with the Dallas Cowboys, that close loss is a mirage, as they spend the majority of the game going down massively early, waiting until there's almost no time left, and then storming a comeback just so their stats look good. But hey, at least it wasn't Dak this time. Man suffered a nasty hamstring injury. It's probably gonna keep him out for several weeks. And if there's any justice in this world, then if Jerry Jones gets a top 5 pick, he'll be a stupid asshole and squander it on another running back. And those of you who follow me here on this channel know that I don't fully buy this bullshit ass nonsense that you can't pay a running back anything. But yeah, when it comes to high value draft capital, absolutely do not spend it on a fucking running back. But yeah, if you break this game down, Dallas was down 14-3 at one point. Then they were down 21-10. Game stayed that way for pretty much the entire third quarter. And after Brandon Aubrey kicked a 57-yard field goal to make it a one-score game, Dallas proved how not serious they were as a competitor by surprise, immediately letting the Falcons drive down the field for a touchdown to put that thing away essentially at 27-13. If you want to be fooled by a touchdown from Cooper Rush with a minute and a half left, be my guest. But at this point, I think the Cowboys' record speaks for itself. This is a bad team, it's poorly coached, stupidly put together, and lazily thrown out there, just like Jerry Jones lazily slapping his dick and telling himself he did a good job this offseason. Right now, there's only about 3 things Jerry Jones is actually good at in life. One of them is managing to stay alive to spite death himself. Another is fucking whores in the press box at a stadium. And the other is talking about his own players' dick sizes to world-renowned celebrities like Jamie Foxx. It's time to retire, old man. You've had 30 years to prove that Jimmy Johnson carried your ass all those years ago. You don't know what it takes to win a championship. But hey, you did a hell of a lot better than most owners/GMs would have done. So if that helps you sleep with those lizard eyes rolling into the back of your head, then enjoy the half-ass compliment and get the fuck out of the way. Special shout out to Zeke Elliott saying, listen, I know I suck complete dick and that I run about as well as Cyberpunk on a fucking graphing calculator, but how dare you tell me that my time is gonna be reduced? I'm gonna throw a temper tantrum now. Bro, you're making millions of dollars that you don't deserve, practically stealing Jerry Jones' money. It's nice that you're still a competitor at heart. About the only thing you're producing is cardiac arrest across the Dallas, Texas area, because every time your fans have to watch you carry the football less than 2 yards, I gotta imagine another 4, 5, 6, or 75 Dallas Cowboys fans going to coronary.
You know, one thing they don't tell you about living in a sewer is how bad it fucking smells. What's that? That's really the number one thing everybody fucking knows about? Well, I didn't fucking know about that because I'm a fucking moron, which is probably why I'm stuck living in a fucking sewer drain if you smell what I'm cooking. And that's where you come in. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't, share this shit around, help this channel grow so I can make some money and squander it on terrible bets, like the New York Jets beating the Arizona Cardinals outright. I mean, using that money to get out of the sewer, that's what I mean. No crocodiles were harmed in the making of this sewer commercial. Ah, shit, but they might harm me.
I'm actually going to take time out to congratulate a team here in the NFLOL. I mean, how appropriate is it in a season where the NFLOL has been infested with failure moments? The most longest tenured, biggest failure franchise in the history of football, the Detroit Lions, are overcoming adversity, achieving their peak potential, and proving to the world that they're truly an elite squad capable of a Super Bowl run. Despite what a crybaby idiot in Green Bay might say about the better team not winning, it is without a doubt true that the better team did win this game, and it wasn't even particularly close. And considering they did it without their best defensive player, Aiden Hutchinson, perhaps if you're a Packers offensive lineman, you might want to shut your fucking mouth about who the better team actually is. Know your place and shut your face, fat man. You have to forgive me if I seem a little defensive of the Detroit Lions. As a fan of failure football, I've been kind of like a source of unending entertainment, and I feel I owe them a great deal. I'm fully behind them this year, and I hope Dan Campbell hoists the Lombardi so high that a glint of light reflects off it, goes into one of Jerry Jones' chameleon eyes, knocks him out of his press box, and sends him into a permanent retirement. While would Jerry Jones be at the Super Bowl for the Lions? Who the fuck knows? Someone once asked me to talk about the Ravens, so last week I did just that. And I ain't planning on doing it this week, but my God, how could I leave out their opponent, the Denver Broncos? We've talked about it all year long, folks. Coaching in the NFL is more important than anything else. And few teams are as consistently, expertly coached as the Baltimore Ravens. So what happens when you get an excellent team and an excellent coaching staff going up against a team with a lot of talent holes and a good coach, but a coach who's ultimately overrated? Well, what you get is a 41-10 beating where all the fucking idiots talking about how Denver is actually a great team this season maybe can have a moment of self-reflection, smack themselves across the fucking face, look across the field at an actual great team, join the rest of us on planet fucking Earth, and realize that being a mediocre team is not the same as being a great team. There's a lot of mediocre football at best being played in the NFLOL this season, and the Denver Broncos might as well be the poster boy for it. And while we're here, since I just talked about Detroit and their Super Bowl aspirations, is it too early for me to predict that Baltimore finally gets over the hump this year, makes it to the Super Bowl, and plays against the Lions? Maybe it's a little too early for a prediction like that. Maybe I'm riding high off of last week, because my God, it's not every day you feel like a prognosticator. But if you'll recall, last week I made several comparisons between the Saints and their undisciplined, terrible brand of football, and I directly compared that to the New York Jets under Robert Saleh. And I talked about how I think my exact words might have been something along the lines of like, if Robert Saleh hadn't been fired already, my bet would have been on Dennis Allen to be the first one fired this season. Well, holy shit, would you look at that. They go up against the dirt worst Carolina Panthers team. I saw that spread. It was a 7-point spread in favor of New Orleans. And for anybody who's keeping tabs on the Carolina Panthers like I am, you'd realize that every other week it seems like they play a very tough, competitive brand of football. Or every 2 weeks, maybe I should say. Don't forget, going into the fourth quarter, it was a 28-20 game between Atlanta and Carolina. Well, you have a bad, actually terrible, and horribly coached New Orleans Saints team going to play the Panthers. And while I didn't necessarily predict that the Panthers would win the motherfucker, I thought it would be a close game. It's kind of funny to think that the Carolina Panthers are so goddamn bad that the automatic reaction to losing against them is to fire your entire fucking coaching staff. It's like, how dare you embarrass us like this? What are you gonna do? Play in the NCAA and lose to fucking Wake Forest next? Well, you could wake your ass up on the unemployment line, Dennis Allen. There are some great fucking stats coming out of New Orleans this week, like the fact that Derek Carr and David Carr both hold almost every fucking record for most career losses as you go season by season. Then there's the fact that Dennis Allen has gotten fired twice, and both times Derek Carr was his fucking quarterback. I don't even know how the fuck that happens. As soon as Allen got a hold of Derek Carr, he must have been having PTSD flashbacks. Well, sorry bro, looks like you gotta confront your nightmares yet again. Hopefully the couple $1 million a year you made in New Orleans help soothe the pain. The question now has to be raised, who's going for that first overall pick? There's a hell of a tie at 2 wins right now, and any one of those teams at the bottom has proven that if the other team wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, and there's a full moon, and somebody accidentally drops a dump truck of smelling salts on the shitty team's sideline, that a team like the Raiders or the Panthers can actually steal a win. And don't look now, but the 2-7 Carolina Panthers are going up against the 2-win New York Giants team next week. And I think they're going to fucking Germany. Could we be talking about a Carolina Panther 2-game win streak? Yeah, probably not. The Giants have been hard luck losers of a lot of actually close games. Their defense is talented, and their coaching staff is leagues better than what's going on in Carolina right now. And they're damn sure better than what New Orleans had. Outside of their fucking stupid ass single-digit IQ decision to let Saquon Barkley walk away, which I think has cost them at least 3 wins this season, the New York Giants brain trust should inspire confidence that they'll get a couple meaningless wins Everything now comes down to whether or not they're capable of scouting out a quarterback who doesn't necessarily go in the top 5, because I really don't see the Giants staying in the basement, and I think that march to the middle of the pile starts next week against the Panthers. As far as this week was concerned, Malik Neighbors may be an all-world talent, but my dude needs to stop commiserating with the enemy, and you could tell in his pre-draft interviews on Hard Knocks, got a bit of a fucking attitude problem, was probably going to be liable for saying some really dumb fucking shit. Well, as a rookie, that's already started. Maybe you could blame the concussions, but anytime you start finger pointing at your offensive play caller, who happens to also be the head coach that fucking drafted you and has made you look great all season, you kinda sound like a fucking moron. And when doing TikTok dances with the enemy quarterback because he used to be your college buddy in the middle of an NFL football game, that's an easy way to lose the locker room and get the fan base to turn on you. Better keep making 10 catches for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, bro, because your mouth is writing some expensive ass checks already. Alright, well that's it for now for our Week 9 NFLOL review. But don't worry, there's plenty more Week 9 failures to go over. Did the Miami Cushions get knocked the fuck out by the Buffalo Bills? And which top team is at risk of an all-time choke job to one of the NFLOL's bottom feeders? Find out next time when we continue talking about Week 9 of the NFLOL.